On everybody, this is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to talk about the Arizona drought conditions, an update on what's going on. You know that I made a video about 3 months ago regarding the drought situation. So many of you guys are already aware of the fact that Arizona is in a drought. The whole West, really, California or Southwest, California, Nevada, Arizona, really in these drought-like conditions. And if you didn't actually know about that, we can kind of talk about this a little bit more, but basically there's a drought. Okay, so this is on Arizona Department of Water Resources drought. The Arizona Drought Monitoring Technical Committee confers weekly to advise the U.S. Drought Monitor authors on the current drought conditions in Arizona and makes recommendations about the position of the drought boundaries. So the good news is, as you guys know, we've had multiple different storms, winter storms this winter that have actually, for the most part, alleviated the initial wave of drought. So Arizona is not in a drought. We're in a long-term drought, but which will only be cured by several winters in a row of lots of rain. But right now, the short-term proposition for Arizona really means we're out of the drought in the short term. So that's good news for us. So January was a relatively wet month across most of the state. The rain and snowfall led to the removal of exceptional drought D4, as well as the reduction of extreme drought D3 and severe drought D2 in northeastern Arizona. Severe and moderate drought D1 were also removed from the western two-thirds of the state, as you can see on this map. Pima, Santa Cruz, and Cochise counties are currently experiencing no drought conditions in the short term. So this was a big plus for our drought conditions, but does that, and just because this short term 2019, 2018, late 2018, early 2019 has been a wet year, that doesn't solve our long-term problems. So we're going to have to look at solutions for this. And some of these solutions can be seen across the the discussion board, right? But here you go, big gains for the ongoing Arizona drought. You can see that here on News 4 Tucson. And here's what I really wanted to talk about. So there's a war over the Colorado River, but what's a solution besides the Colorado River, right? Well, desalination, also known as desal, which we're going to talk about. But just to show you, is a water war brewing over the Colorado River. So as Colorado, or Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada all battle over who's going to get the water, and as the drought were to continue, this has caused a problem. It's all started when the Central Arizona Project, managed by Central Arizona Water Conservation District, posted a graphic on its website showing that it could and should take more water than it needs from the river instead of conserving as much as possible. Many people in Colorado and even Arizona think this potential water grab goes too far. You can see this graphic right here, which you can pull up on coloradoindependent.com. But back to the subject here about, now that you know that there's like a war over the Colorado River, what are some alternatives to get water here in Arizona? From a partnership with Mexico treating brackish groundwater, Arizona is exploring opportunities to incorporate desalinized water into its long-term water supply planning. So it's no joke. You saw yesterday that Arizona's booming. More and more people are moving to Phoenix. More and more people are moving to Tucson and around the state of Arizona. And this is causing this is adding to an already problematic drought where more people are consuming water, but less water is coming in, except for this winter we did have a lot of water. So that's the future of, so let's talk about that. That's the future of water desalination plants in Arizona. According to the head of the state's water department, they are controversial and expensive, but Arizona's current leadership views desalinated water, or desal. So when you hear the term desal, that's what they're referring to. And that just means taking the salt out of salt water. That's desalination. As key to the state's long-term water plans, Arizona sits atop an estimated 600 million acre feet of brackish water. Brackish water, for those of you who don't know, that's a mix between fresh water and salt water. So it's not as salty as salt water, but it's not fresh drinking water or fresh water. Desalination is in our future, said Thomas Bushowski, director of the Arizona Department of Water Resource, in late 2016. The state formed a committee to study the feasibility of desalination for the region, with rising population and droughts exacerbated by climate change. More recently, an international water treaty update with Mexico is another factor in the movement toward desalinated water in Arizona. We are going to do our due diligence to make that happen. So they're talking big numbers here. The cost, about $71 million. So that's going to hit you in your bills. That's going to hit you in your taxes, all that kind of stuff, however they decide to pay for that. And that doesn't include the $4.1 million a year in energy costs to squeeze seawater through the filters. The plant provides 30% of the water in a city of 91,000, although the amount could increase in the future. So that was back in Santa Barbara, California, doing that. Now, this brackish water discussion with desalination is interesting, but there's also the potential of actually California using desalination, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego using desalination to actually provide drinking water to them, which would create more drinking water from the Colorado River or water in general, showers, etc. To, drive into Arizona and Vegas, right? So this is just a real interesting discussion, but at the end of the day, the desalination pretty much, in my opinion, has to happen because you can see the Colorado River runs dry, dams, irrigation, and climate change have drastically reduced the once mighty river. Is it a sign of things to come? So this is a picture from up in Utah, Lake Powell, the border of Arizona and Utah. And you can see the water level is normally up here and it's down here. But as this water goes down, by the time it makes it to Yuma, it's like pretty much just after Lake Havasu City, it's like, where's the water at? But the once mighty Colorado is not necessarily pouring into the Gulf of California like it used to, into the Baja. So this is all serious conversation. Let me know what you guys think of this solution to the drought problem that we have. Should we turn to desalination? Should we look at this brackish water plan? Should California start pulling some of its water out of the ocean, doing more desalination plants along the California coast? Or what do you think is the solution to this? Obviously, to say, hey, less people, that's not an option, guys. It's not going to happen. More and more people are going to keep moving south, and we've got to provide the infrastructure and for the people that are already here and the people that are already coming here. And the solution is really in the creativity and the technology use case moving forward. So thanks to everyone who's been liking these videos and subscribing to Living in Arizona, and we'll see you guys next time.